Our bodies are designed as complex holistic systems where all metabolic functions play a vital role. Now, while these functions act on their own, our breath is the one function that we can consciously control. And it's through our conscious decision to adjust how we breathe that we can create change in our body and our other bodily functions. How we breathe directly affects our circulatory, digestive, and even nervous systems. It is truly remarkable to think about how much impact this simple act has on our total health and well-being. Welcome to the Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast, where we explore the keys to unlocking your full potential and living your best life. I'm your host, Jose Johnson. Whether you're looking to make a breakthrough, overcome a challenge, or simply live with greater clarity, joy, and purpose, you'll find the tools and inspirations you need right here. So let's start your journey towards personal mastery and growth right now. Welcome back to the Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast, your go-to resource for practical tips, insightful research, and inspiring stories to help you unlock your full potential. I'm your host, Jose Johnson, and I'm an expert in mindfulness, mindset, and peak performance, and I am so thrilled to have you with me today. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the topic of the power of breathing. We'll explore its effects on the autonomic nervous system, the connection between breath and focus, practical breathing techniques, and the research that supports these techniques. Breathing. We all do it. You're probably doing it right now. We do it all the time, but how often do we think about our breathing? Well, if you're like most people, the only time you think about it is when you're having trouble with it. As a lifelong practitioner of martial arts, healing arts, and a professional trumpet player, I have experienced firsthand how an adjustment to our approach to breathing can create profound change. In the study of Chinese internal martial arts, there is a common saying, Yi Qi Li. Our Yi is our intent. Our Qi is our energy. And Li refers to muscles, or is used in this phrase, our physical actions. The essence of this saying is that all three elements must work together. And what does this have to do with breathing? Well, everything. You see, our breath is directly connected to our state of mind, the quality of our energy, and the movement of our body. And I want you to think about this. Imagine something really exciting happening to you, like you just won the lottery. Right? Now, notice how if you think about that, your eyes will open wide and your breath becomes somewhat shallow. Now, unless you're driving, I want you to do the same thing, but this time I want you to try to move very slowly. Well, it's not easy, is it? Now, let's try the opposite. Think of something sad. Notice how your eyes start to close and you exhale. You may even feel your body start to slouch. Now, do the same thing while trying to move quickly. Again, it's possible, but it takes a lot of effort. So what's the point of this? Well, it's that your mind and body want to be on the same page. When one of them gets off track, it wants to pull the other along. The cool thing is that breath is the link between the internal and external. By simply changing how you breathe, you can change how you think, feel, and move. But the impact of breathing goes far beyond our state of mind and the quality of our movement. It affects our overall health. Our bodies are designed as complex holistic systems where all metabolic functions play a vital role. Now, while these functions act on their own, our breath is the one function that we can consciously control. And it's through our conscious decision to adjust how we breathe that we can create change in our body and our other bodily functions. How we breathe directly affects our circulatory, digestive, and even nervous systems. It is truly remarkable to think about how much impact this simple act has on our total health and well-being. Well, now that we're beginning to understand the profound connection between our breath, our state of mind, and our overall health, let's explore the research and practical techniques to harness the power of breathing for stress management and emotional well-being. Let's start by exploring the effects of breathing on our autonomic nervous system. Our autonomic nervous system is composed of three different branches, but two which are very important to us in the context of this discussion. They're the sympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for the fight, flight, or freeze response, and the parasympathetic nervous system, and that's responsible for the rest and digest response. Now, these two branches work in tandem to maintain balance in our body. When we breathe rapidly and shallowly, our sympathetic nervous system becomes activated, preparing us for potential threats or stressful situations. Now, this response can be helpful in emergencies, but it can lead to chronic stress if our bodies remain in this state for extended periods of time. Now, conversely, when we engage in slow, deep breathing, we activate our parasympathetic nervous system. This induces a relaxation response, allowing our bodies to rest, recover, and rejuvenate. Slow breathing triggers a cascade of physiological changes, including lowered heart rate, reduced blood pressure, and increased oxygenation. Now, research has shown that specific breathing techniques can have a profound impact on our mood, anxiety levels, and physiological responses. So let's highlight some of the key findings. We're going to start with two papers that explored how different breathing exercises affect mood, anxiety, arousal, and physiology. In a 2014 review by neuroscientist Jan Marino Ramirez, cyclic sighing was found to significantly improve positive mood over a 4-week period. Cyclic sighing involves deep inhales followed by prolonged exhales. This technique also led to a reduction in respiratory rate, indicating its calming effect. In a 1997 experimental study by researchers at UC Irvine, participants practiced different breathing techniques daily for 2 weeks. Slow breathing at 6 breaths per minute significantly reduced feelings of tension, anger, and fatigue, and increased heart rate variation, suggesting enhanced parasympathetic activity. On the other hand, faster breathing at 18 beats per minute increased tension, and breath holding reduced heart rate variation, indicating heightened sympathetic arousal. Now, according to these results, slower, more relaxed breathing patterns help calm the body and mind by stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system. Techniques emphasizing longer exhales have shown particular effectiveness in reducing the respiratory rate and improving mood. Now, conversely, faster and tenser breathing and breath holding have the opposite effect, increasing negative mood and arousal, but it also increases sympathetic tone. Now, sympathetic tone is extremely important because without it, blood cannot efficiently circulate through the body, which results in decreased heart rate, low blood pressure, and temperature dysregulation. Research conducted by Dr. Changjun Li and his team at Jinzhou Medical University in China in 2018 further supports the positive effects of slow breathing on heart health. Participants with and without high blood pressure were asked to breathe at a slow rate of 8 breaths per minute, compared to a faster rate of 16 breaths per minute. The study found that slow breathing resulted in lower blood pressure, reduced heart rate, activation of the rest and digest response, improved natural blood pressure regulation, and a calmer nervous system balance. So the takeaway is clear. Taking a few minutes each day to practice slow, deep breathing can help control high blood pressure, promote heart health, and activate our parasympathetic nervous system. It's a simple yet powerful way to enhance our overall well-being. By incorporating specific breathing techniques into our daily lives, we can cultivate a greater sense of calm, resilience, and emotional well-being. The pace, depth, and inhale-exhale ratio of our breath significantly impact our anxiety levels, arousal, and autonomic state. Now that we recognize the profound impact of our breath on our autonomic nervous system, let's delve into its role in stress management and emotional well-being. Stress is an inevitable part of life, and our bodies have natural mechanisms to cope with it. However, chronic stress can lead to physical and emotional imbalances. Well, the good news is that conscious breathing techniques can be effective tools for managing stress and for promoting our emotional well-being. When we're stressed, our breathing tends to become rapid and shallow. This activates the sympathetic nervous system, fueling the stress response and contributing to feelings of anxiety and overwhelm. By intentionally shifting our breathing patterns to slow, deep breaths, we can activate the parasympathetic nervous system and counteract the stress response. Research conducted by Dr. Patricia Gerbarg and Dr. Richard Brown has shown that specific breathwork practices such as coherent breathing have significant effects on stress reduction, anxiety management, and emotional well-being. Coherent breathing, also known as resonant breathing, involves inhaling and exhaling for an equal duration, typically around 6 beats per minute. Now, this technique works by influencing the balance between our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, allowing us to shift from a state of stress to a state of calm and relaxation. Now, it can be practiced during moments of stress, as well as incorporated into daily routines for overall well-being. By incorporating conscious breathing practices into our lives, we can better manage stress, enhance emotional resilience, and cultivate a greater sense of calm and balance. So now that we understand the power of our breath in managing stress and enhancing our emotional well-being, let's explore some practical breathing techniques that you can incorporate into your daily life. These techniques can help you to relax, center yourself, and improve your overall well-being. Number 1, box breathing. Research published in PLOS 1 demonstrated that box breathing reduces anxiety and improves mood. This technique involves inhaling for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 4, and holding again for a count of 4. You simply repeat this cycle several times, focusing on the rhythm of your breath. Number 2, 4-7-8 breathing. The 4-7-8 breathing technique was created by Dr. Andrew Weil, which he first introduced in his book, The Relaxation Revolution, in 1996. Dr. Weil based the 4-7-8 breathing techniques on pranayama, a yogic breathing technique that's been practiced for centuries. It involves inhaling for a count of 4, holding your breath for a count of 7, and exhaling for a count of 8. You simply repeat the cycle for a few minutes, focusing on the rhythm of your breath. Dr. Weil suggests practicing 4-7-8 breathing twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening. He also suggests practicing it before bed to help you fall asleep more easily. There is some additional scientific evidence to support the benefits of 4-7-8 breathing. A study published in the journal Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine found that 4-7-8 breathing can reduce stress and improve the quality of our sleep. Number 3, diaphragmatic breathing. Research published in Applied Psychophysiology and Biofeedback indicates that diaphragmatic breathing reduces anxiety and improves heart rate variability. Now, to do diaphragmatic breathing, here's an easy tip. Place one hand on your belly and the other on your chest. Or my favorite way of doing this is place one hand on your belly button and one directly behind it in the small of your back. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose, allowing your abdomen to expand as you fill your lungs with air. Exhale slowly through the mouth, feeling your belly start to lower. Focus on breathing deeply into your abdomen rather than shallow chest breathing. Now, remember, these techniques are simple yet powerful tools that you can use anytime, anywhere. Experiment with them and find what works best for you. As you explore these breathing techniques, here are some additional tips to maximize their effectiveness. First, find a quiet space where you won't be interrupted. 2, sit or lie in a comfortable position. 3, close your eyes and focus your attention on your breath. 4, start with a few minutes of practice and gradually increase the duration. And 5, and maybe the most important, when your mind wanders, just gently bring it back and focus on your breath. Now that you have a better understanding of the research-backed breathing techniques, I encourage you to integrate them into your daily routine. Make a conscious effort to pause and take a few moments each day to focus on your breath, whether it's in the morning to start your day on a positive note or in the evening to unwind and relax. These practices can make a significant difference in your overall well-being. Now, one way that you can do this is to use one of my go-to techniques that I teach all of my coaching clients, which I like to call the 90-second reset. It's a practical tool that allows you to quickly reset your mind and body, incorporating the skills and the science we've already discussed. The effectiveness of this technique has been so remarkable that many businesses I've consulted with now use it at the start of their meetings. It helps everyone achieve a calm and focused state of mind, setting the stage for productive discussions. If you're interested in learning how to use the 90-second reset, simply visit my website at josejohnson.com/90 seconds. That's the numbers 90 seconds, SECONDS. Now, there you're going to find a short video from one of my presentations that walks you through the process, and the link will be available in the show notes. And while you're there, I encourage you to join the waiting list for my upcoming virtual course on the power of breath. In this course, I'll be providing you with step-by-step instructions on how you can harness the transformative power of breath to create radical change in your life. It's an opportunity you don't want to miss. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast. If you have any questions or feedback, please reach out. And don't forget to tune in next time for another great episode. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast and please share it with a family member or friend who might be struggling to make a change in their life. Until next time, keep in mind that the power to transform your life lies within you, and conscious breathing is one of the keys to unlocking your full potential. And remember, it is what it is, but it becomes what you make it. So make it great. Thanks for tuning in. Before we wrap up, I just want to remind you that the information shared in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional advice or treatment. While the content of this podcast is based on research and personal experience, everyone's situation is unique, and the advice given may not be applicable to all. Always consult a qualified professional before making significant changes in your life. The Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast is recorded at the So Good Media Studios located in the Candy Factory, a co-working space in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.